up, YouTube? Spiderslayer5 here, and today I'm bringing you guys a commentary about the Call of Duty DLC exclusivity deal. I believe that's what it's called, I'm not exactly sure. Now, I have already done this commentary before, but I felt like it really wasn't that good of quality because I wasn't playing a relevant game, it wasn't really that good of a gameplay, and yada yada yada. It's just, I felt like the video could have been a lot better. And so I'm remaking it in the hopes that I can make it better, a more enjoyable experience for you guys to watch. And the gameplay you're going to be seeing is me playing just some casual Black Ops 2 on Nuketown. And first game, you know, I do pretty okay, we win. Second game, I do okay-ish, and then we lose. My gameplays really aren't usually anything too special. They're just, I'm an average CoD player, so my gameplays are usually just average CoD games. Nothing extraordinary or amazing to watch, I'm afraid. But anyway, let's get on with the commentary. So, for those of you who don't know, Call of Duty is an annually released game. There's a new Call of Duty game per year, usually comes out in November, you know, early November, for the holiday season. And it rotates now between three companies, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer Games. Treyarch is affiliated with Black Ops, the Black Ops titles, Infinity Ward's affiliated with the Modern Warfare titles, and Ghosts, and Sledgehammer Games has worked on MW3, and they've made Advanced Warfare. And throughout all these games, usually with the COD season, I think this has been a thing ever since like World at War, maybe even earlier, I'm not exactly sure. But they've always had DLCs, and the DLCs generally consist of 4 multiplayer maps, 1 bonus map for whatever secondary game mode is within the game, whether it be usually zombies, but sometimes it could be aliens if you're talking at like ghosts. And sometimes there'll be like a DLC weapon. That was introduced in Black Ops 2, the DLC weapons. But essentially, the DLC, there's 4 DLCs per game, per COD season, and they include 4 multiplayer maps, 1 bonus map for whatever extra game modes within the game, and that's essentially it. That's all they really hold. Sometimes there'll be like little specialty things like DLC weapons, but that's usually about it. And that's not including the other little DLC like camo packs and whatnot. And what I'm talking about today is the exclusive release date that the consoles have with each other. Because as everyone knows, there are 3 consoles that Call of Duty comes out for usually. I'm not counting the Wii U or anything like that because let's face it, the Wii version of Call of Duty sucks. Let's all be real here. I don't care what you say, it sucks. So essentially there's the Xbox, the PlayStation, and PC. Now, you know, Xbox is Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS is, you know, PS3, PS4, and PC is, you know, whatever. So, for the longest amount of time, Microsoft has had this deal with Activision and the Call of Duty games that they get the DLC earlier. They get the DLC about like a month earlier before anybody else does. So that means players on Xbox get... So that means if, for the longest time, if you were a player on Xbox, you got the DLC, the Call of Duty DLC content sooner than everyone else. Sooner than PC, and sooner than PlayStation. And by the way, this gameplay is on PC. Just as a little heads up. And recently though, after Advanced Warfare, that little exclusive deal with between Activision and Microsoft went out. The contract ran out, and the Call of Duty DLC release date deal was up for grabs again, and PlayStation picked it up. So now in Call of Duty games, Call of Duty releases this DLC about a month early for the PlayStation 4. And the amount of backlash that this has had was pretty huge. It's calmed down quite a bit because Black Ops 3 is about halfway through its life cycle now. There's already talk about Infinite Warfare, and they're already about 2 DLCs in. But the backlash on this was huge because back in the earlier days of Call of Duty, the Xbox was considered the COD console. If you were going to be like a competitive Call of Duty player, you played on Xbox, whether it be 360 or Xbox One. People really didn't even like consider PlayStation as like a viable option for competitive Call of Duty. If you look at the tournaments, they were all usually all set on Xbox because they got the DLC earlier. So the pro players, they would go out, they would get their DLC sooner on Xbox, get a little bit of extra practice on the multiplayer maps because they got the maps earlier than everyone else, and all the tryhards who want to be just like them, well, excuse me, all the tryhards who wanted to become MLG pros copied all the pros, exactly what they did, and yada yada yada. Everyone is playing Call of Duty on Xbox, and the PlayStation and the PlayStation and PC versions both kind of lack a community. Generally, if you looked on if you were to look up statistics about how many people are playing, generally there would be more players on Xbox than on PlayStation or PC. And the PC community is especially small. Like, if you go and play some Black Ops 2 now, there's only about 1,000 people playing, and I don't know what the number is for Black Ops 3. It's probably higher because it's just newer, but it's probably not that much better, in all honesty. But so basically, Sony, PlayStation, they picked up this exclusivity deal, and the huge amount of backlash was because all the pro players and people who want to become pro players, they had to switch consoles now in order to stay ahead of the game, you could say. They want extra practice time on the maps, so they would go and everyone had to go out and change from Xbox to PlayStation. And let me tell you, unless you're like super stinking rich, I think having an Xbox One and a PS4 and paying both memberships for like Xbox Live and PSN, I feel like that's pretty expensive. And for like the average gamer, or like maybe slightly above average gamer, they're probably not really going to want to be doing that. They're not really going to be wanting to spend money on 2 separate memberships. Because everyone basically, all the people who want to be pros at Call of Duty, they bought an Xbox One to get through Ghosts, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3. But then when Black Ops 3 came around, it was like, psych, my lads, sorry, but we're picking up this deal. We are now the deal holders. And so now, if you have a PlayStation 4, you get the DLC about a month sooner. So that means you get the multiplayer maps sooner, you get the zombie maps sooner, and I'm an average player. I'm not a hardcore gamer. I do love gaming. I think it's really fun. I love it, but I'm not a hardcore gamer. That's not my type of, you know, I'm not a pro player. I like Call of Duty, but I'm not ever gonna plan on being pro at it. I'm not gonna get all intense about it. But what I feel like is, I feel like there shouldn't be a DLC exclusivity deal in the first place. My personal views on it is that I think it's kind of dumb. I think it's dumb that either console has to wait, either gaming system has to wait quite a while before the DLC can come out. Like, I understand, you know, there are some small issues about getting everything ported over correctly and making sure it all works, but do you really need a month to do that? No. Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer Games, Activision, they're companies, they're huge. There's no way that they do not have enough workers to be able to port all of the DLC over to all the different consoles within like at least a week span. I think a month long before you can access the DLC, if you're not on the privileged console, as you could say. I think that's pretty unfair. I'm not really defending people, the X-Bros or the Sony ponies or the PC Master Race. I'm not like really supporting them and their superiority. I'm not saying which is better. I honestly think that there should just not be a DLC exclusivity deal in the first place. I think the DLC, I believe, and I know that probably a bunch of other people agree with me, that the DLC should just all come out at the same time. There shouldn't be any huss and fuss about it. It should just be like, okay, here's the DLC, it's about to come out, there you go. We all have access to it within at least a week span of one another. I think that would be fairer. I think that would be funner, I think that would be better, and that's just my personal views on it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is a remake of my old commentary. I'm going to be taking that last one down and putting this one in its place. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you just didn't mind me ranting mindlessly at you about Call of Duty. So yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.